Hello, in this video we'll be discussing ways of identifying question types in reading comprehension passages. Another question type is the inference questions. Inference questions ask you about information that a passage implies rather than states directly. They test your ability to draw conclusions that aren't clearly or directly stated in the passage. For instance, suppose you read a passage about hummingbirds. Information in one paragraph may state that hummingbirds fly south for winter. Information in another paragraph may say that the speckled ruffles is a kind or a type of hummingbird. From this information, you can refer that the speckled ruffles flies south for winter. You can spot inference questions easily because they contain the words infer and imply. Here are some examples. It can be inferred from the passage that, or the author implies that, or the author implies which of the following. When facing an inference question, look for the choice that extends to the information given in the passage. Answer choices that make inferences that aren't covered in the passage or aren't stated in the passage are usually incorrect. Don't choose the answer that requires you to come up with information that isn't somehow covered in the passage. Also, be sure to use only what's been provided in the passage, not what is in your head. Sometimes, knowing a lot about a particular topic can throw you off balance because you may be tempted to answer questions based on your own knowledge rather than what has been given in the passage. Make sure anything you can infer or you infer can be justified by information in the passage. Next, we have the tone questions. Questions that ask you to figure out the author's attitude or complete the logical flow of the author's ideas are tone questions. Your job is to discover the author's feeling from the way he or she presents the passage. Tone questions stand out, and thanks to the way they are worded, watch out for phrases such as we have the author's attitude appears to be one of, or with which of the following statements will the author most likely agree with, or the tone of the passage suggests that the author is most skeptical about which of the following. As you read through the passage, get to know the author. Pay attention to the vocabulary he or she uses and the way she advances the main point. Authors who tell a story or offer a subjective opinion rely more on informal language and the first-person narratives. Objective authors tend to use more formal languages and apply traditional essay structure. And finally, this is the last type of question you might encounter. Most questions ask you to choose the correct answer or pick out one correct answer. But some questions are cleverly disguised to ask for just one answer that isn't true. These type of questions are called the exception questions. You recognize them by the presence of a negative word, usually except or not. When you see these questions worded this way, you know you are looking for one answer choice that isn't true. Just eliminate 3 correct answers. Doing so leaves you with the one false correct answer. Identifying choices that are true according to the passage is much easier than determining the one choice that isn't true. Take your time and you do exceptionally well on exception questions.